When winter weather is looming, one of the first things we all want to know is, will we be able to get around? What will the roads look like? NCDOT crews are gearing up and getting ready for what's coming our way. And one of the first things we always see around here are those brining operations, those big trucks striping our major roadways before the snow and ice hits.
We flow water through it until the solution is at 23% salt. And that's what brine is. That's the best optimum for putting it on the road and being able to use it.
It's preventing that snow and ice from adhering to the road. So the snowplows can remove what falls from the sky much easier than if they were to apply that after the storm has begun.
Dr. Bill Hintz is a scientist at the University of Toledo. He's done a lot of research on the way we keep our roads passable during these winter months. Now, bottom line here, de-icing operations are lifesavers. It's estimated they reduce car crashes by a whopping 78%. But the main ingredient, salt, which is very similar to what we put on our food, does come at a cost. Dr. Hintz says the use of de-icing salts has tripled over the past 45 years. He says it has triggered substantial increases in freshwater salinity.
Unfortunately, the salt has to go somewhere, and it flows into our streams once the snow melts or rainstorms hit. And so once it gets into a stream ecosystem, it can cause a lot of negative impacts on those streams. So in some instances, organisms that live in the stream, like fish or invertebrates, you can see reduced growth, mortality or death. And sometimes they just don't like the salty water, so they move away. So what happens to our streams is these organisms kind of leave or disappear. And so that can change the way our streams benefit us humans.
Are there impacts on soils as well?
Yes, sir. So when salt gets into the soil, right, it can kind of penetrate groundwater. So a lot of our well systems that we use to draw our drinking water from can get contaminated with salts.
We all know about the Flint, Michigan water crisis that happened there with the lead that they found right in the drinking water supply. And you found that, or there's some research out there that shows the road salt may have actually been a factor in that?
Yeah, so chloride, when it gets into the pipes in our drinking water systems, right, some of the additives or the treatments that they use for drinking water, in addition to, let's say, salty freshwater systems that they might be drawing water from, those things combined can cause lead to leach from pipe systems, which gets into our drinking water. And then we have those unfortunate effects we've observed.
So are some using different mixtures that are more environmentally safe?
So there's no safe alternative out there on the market that we are aware of that scientifically kind of concludes that this is a safer alternative, right? And so even the organic additives, something that is not salt added to a de-icing salt, can be more harmful to the environment than just using simple sodium chloride rock salt alone. So that table salt you have at home is the same salt that we're applying on a lot of our roads. Anything alternative to that, we haven't found the silver bullet that is more environmentally friendly.
As you pointed out, right, this is tricky because road salt obviously is really important in preventing crashes, injuries, and deaths, right? So how do we find a balance here? What can we be doing?
Yeah, so like a lot of things that we use in our everyday lives, we can use salt in a smart way. So if we think about the average driveway, let's just say it's 20 feet. Well, instead of using like 10 solo cups or 10 coffee mugs of salt to salt it, all you need is one solo cup or one coffee cup of salt to really de-ice your driveway, or 40 feet of sidewalk, for instance. So you know, when we think about salting our driveway or sidewalks, you really don't need that much. And same thing when in our highway systems and our road networks is we need to leverage best management practices to reduce how much salt we use, because we're overusing a lot of salt.
And that is where those brining operations do come in. It's not safer per se, but it does cut down on the amount of road salt needed after the snow and ice hits.